Assalamu alaikum dear audience, this is Sanobar Sultan and I'm back after a hiatus on my channel Sanobar's World. As you all know, I had my first baby, and today as a comeback video I wanted to discuss about the pregnancy journey and new things, new topics of discussion that I discovered while pregnant about pregnancy and the pregnancy situation and the medical problems that females face in Pakistan. So before anything about my own personal journey, the biggest issue, or not the biggest issue, but the most common issue that every household faces or has faced or is going to face is about fertility crisis, and then eventually whether the mother would have a normal delivery or a C-section. So the premise of this video is about why has C-section become so prevalent, and the basic topic of discussion in this video is to generate a debate as to why C-section has become so common. So basically 3 questions that I think we have to start discussion about. First of all, how come C-sections have become so common, so much so that we can even call it an epidemic? Secondly, is a C-section being encouraged by doctors in Pakistan, or whether it is that necessary? Thirdly, can C-section be avoided, or what are the prerequisites for a normal delivery? So these are 3 broad categories that I think we need to talk about: the hospital situation and the doctors, what's happening with the health of young mothers. According to Pakistan Medical Association in 2025, Pakistan's cesarean section has reached to 50 to 70% in several hospitals, including varying rates in urban centers and tertiary hospitals, despite the global benchmark by World Health Organization of 15%. This has become an epidemic and, quote, a profit-driven practice in private hospitals, who see this as a means of quick money. So private C-section packages, excluding the room charges, etc., range from rupees 1 lakh to 4 lakh. Now the discussion that it's actually the doctors who are encouraging families to have C-section, and as soon as they see any patient, any pregnant girl, they say as if she's bound to have a C-section. And that girls these days, doctors however counterclaim this argument that it is actually the doctors who are encouraging this, by saying that girls these days are actually unable to have a normal delivery because of their own medical reasons. For example, medical reasons could include their OGTT results, which is they become pre-diabetic, or their blood pressure, or the head shape of the baby, or the fluid in the belly, these sort of issues. But other than that, they're saying that girls themselves want to have a pain-free experience. They don't want to go through the labor pain, which is over 24 hours in the first baby, or it could be up to 48 hours in the case of the first baby. So they don't want to go through that painful labor. But as you all know, what is good is natural. So natural is the best thing. A short-term relief of pain-free relief of a C-section leads to long-term medical problems for the girl. But a normal delivery and taking that pain, which is a normal pain, natural pain of 12 hours to 48 hours, 24 hours, will lead to 1 or 2 days and you'll be up and running. So saying all these reasons that doctors give of why they are, apart from the extreme medical situation that some girls have, is not a good enough reason. Because in case of because is it just about money? How come in other developed countries it is very improbable to have a C-section, and until the very end doctors do not use any such inductions or induce labor in that way. Many families in Pakistan have even said that the gynecologist that they were visiting was definitely sure that the girl would have a C-section, and she would come up with reasons. But as soon as they switched their doctor, they went to some other place, and the mother had a normal delivery. So, is it a profitable business that has happened? Because again, a girl is a girl, whether a girl is in Pakistan or a girl is abroad. Then why are girls in Pakistan having C-sections? Why is the rate 50 to 70%? This is a, are these doctors playing with the health of our generations, playing with the health of girls just by telling them about a short, just do this pain-free thing, stitch it up and go home? So I'll share with you my personal experience, because I had a normal delivery, alhamdulillah, and I can give you my own reason. Maybe I can give you my own lifestyle things that I did, which can help you to have a normal delivery maybe. So I was also working, so I was going to work at 9 a.m. in the morning every working day. So it wasn't actually always on my head that I was expecting. You have to be busy. The first thing is the diet. I am already a foodie, so the intake of food which was required was not a huge thing. The first 3 months I was a bit nauseated by meat, so I didn't eat that much meat in the first 3-4 months, you could say. But then I had a lot of meat. I had desi ghee every day, I had milk every day, fruits every day, meat, chicken, and so these were the things that I was having. Very little junk food throughout my pregnancy, barely any pizzas or burgers, and if I did have them, I was really nauseated. And the only medicine that I was taking in the first 3 months was Enveep, which was for vomiting. After the first 3 months that I stopped taking Enveep, and then I was only taking, according to the doctors, a vitamin D tablet and an iron tablet. As to who was my doctor and which hospital I went to, I had my whole checkup done by the PA of hospital in Islamabad, and that's where I delivered my baby. And the thing in PAF hospital is there was no specific doctor, so I didn't have a specific doctor. There's an officer's day in a week, so we just went there. I used to go there on that specific day, and whichever doctor was on the panel, she would check me. They had an ultrasound machine, and they said, are your symptoms fine? Is everything fine? They recommended me. Then they had an anomaly scan. I had an anomaly scan in the 5th month, and the OGTT tests, and those sort of normal hepatitis tests, or eventually tetanus injections. Very normal, nothing extra. No extra tests were given or medicine. Now the good thing about the PAF hospital, which I would really commend them about, is that the hospital is determined to make sure you have a normal delivery, and they don't give you any extra tests, they don't give you any extra medicine. They want to take this as naturally as possible. I used to go once a month during my initial 7 up to 7 months. I was going once a month to the hospital, to PAF hospital. Sometimes I would, for a checkup, go to the Kamra hospital, because I was posted in Attak, and but generally it was Islamabad. And then after the 7th month, after the anomaly scan and everything, they were doing my regular ultrasounds, and then I started going almost every week. Once the 8th month was done, which was a bit of a tricky month, the 9th month was January, and in January I was going every week. When I asked my doctor whether I was going to have a normal delivery or a C-section, the doctors on the panel that day, they would say, everything seems fine up till now, but you never know till the end. whether you're going to have a normal or a C-section. So eventually, once I had a full-term baby, by the way, so it was not a premature baby, it was a full-term baby. And I went for my normal checkup on the 28th. So my baby was born on 29th. I went for a normal routine checkup on 28th. The full term was already done, and I just said to the doctor that it's full term, so what do we do now, and will you give me an epidural? If because you why not use that epidural injection to ease your pain if you have to. And then I was really surprised and kind of shocked, because the doctor at PF said that we don't do epidural. If you want to do an operation, if you want to have a delivery in this hospital, we are going to do a normal delivery unless it's very much required. So we went in the evening again, and to the doctor who was sitting in the evening, and she did my ultrasound. She said I was really dilated, and she said, just you're already overdue, you're full term, we're going to admit you right now, everything is fine, you're dilated. And I said, will you give me an epidural when the labor pain sets in? And she said, yeah, sure, we'll look into that, we can give it, but we do normal deliveries, we don't encourage C-sections. So the important thing is just to take this back to the viewer, that whichever doctor that you're going to go to, first find out their perspective. What's their perspective? Find a doctor who does only normal deliveries. Is there a doctor that you know who is averse to C-sections, who doesn't want to do C-sections? So the doctors at PAF panel, they do not encourage C-sections, and they're quite averse to it. They see it as it's as if they're this is their trophy, like, I did so many normal deliveries, that means I'm such a good doctor, I did a normal delivery. So I checked in, and what happened was my baby was born, baby boy Serblin was born on 29th in the evening around 6 p.m., between 6 to 6:30 p.m. And when I had severe pains around midday on 29th, and I said to the doctor, I said, will you give me an epidural now? And I was really taken aback. I was taken aback later when she said to me, the doctors there said to me, oh, why don't you just stay put for a while, we're arranging the epidural syringe, we're arranging it, the staff is coming, we have to go to this other department, we'll take you there. And I'm screaming in pain, I'm saying, give me an epidural, and it's the labor pain and everything. And they kept dragging it and sort of deflecting everything that I was saying. And eventually I just had to be in the labor room because they did not give me an epidural. And then I had a baby around 6 p.m. on the 29th via a normal delivery. So I was really amazed at this. I don't know if many families would want this, where the doctor is not keeping the patient on board. So you see, the issue is the doctor did not keep me on board, that they're not going to give me an epidural. I don't know if many families, if they're paying doctors lakhs, if you're paying up to 4 lakhs to a doctor, and the doctor says that we're not going to give your daughter an epidural if she asks for it, because we know more than you about what's good for her health. So eventually I do thank them for not giving me an epidural, because at that time it was painful, but it was worth it after that. So would you as a patient, would you as a family send your daughter to a hospital which if you're asking for an epidural they would give you or not? But in my case it was worth it. So I did not have an epidural, and I had a normal delivery. I would highly I have a lot of respect now for the PAF hospital, because they were so fixated on having a normal delivery. This is what they do, unlike other hospitals that I've heard of. So I had a really good experience. Baby is fine, I'm fine. So that was my pregnancy journey. If you have other questions, we can talk about it. Do share with me your journey about it, and we should have a discussion about what is this profit generating industry that has come up with doctors. Why are there so many C-sections in Pakistan, and why are they playing with girls' health this way just to make money? Because every other country, in every developed country, they have normal deliveries, and after that there's another, about the baby milk formula. Even if we want to go, that will be another video of a discussion about the baby milk formula, why doctors encourage it, who are the pharmaceutical companies which are giving them those formula milks which they promote to the girls, and those sort of issues. So that was my entire video on definitely having a normal delivery, and definitely going to a doctor, doing a thorough do your homework about a doctor that sees this as a good thing on her resume, that she does normal delivery. So go to that doctor. So okay, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself, and I shall see you all very soon. Bye bye.